What if I told you that the biggest secrets of the universe aren't millions of light years away? What if they're actually right inside you? And what if the key to unlocking it all was as simple as looking in the mirror? Well, today, we're going to explore that exact idea. Forever, we've kind of put these three in different boxes, right? Science over here, religion over there, mysticism somewhere else entirely. But what if that's all wrong? What if they're all just trying to tell us the same story, just using a different language? So we're going to look at three huge stories about how everything began. You've got the book of Genesis, you've got the Big Bang Theory, and you've got the mystical teachings of Kabbalah. Now, on the surface, they seem totally different, but are they really separate stories, or just different angles on the exact same event? Okay, so let's start by just looking at the words, the language that each of these stories uses to describe that very first moment. And I think you're going to be pretty surprised by the overlaps. First up, the Bible. In Genesis, the universe at the very beginning is described in really human terms. It's called chaos, unformed and void. It's a powerful, simple idea that anyone can grasp, this picture of a messy, totally disordered start to everything. All right, now let's flip over to science, the Big Bang Theory. What does it say? An unbelievable explosion from a tiny single point, creating this inferno of heat, turmoil, and, there's that word again, chaos. And get this isn't just a story. It's backed up by actual evidence, like the cosmic radiation we can still pick up from that event today. And for our third perspective, we've got Kabbalah. It describes creation a little differently. It talks about a flow of energy coming from this infinite, limitless source they call the Ein Sof. And in this version of the story, that energy was so powerful, so immense, that it shattered the vessel that was supposed to hold it. A cosmic explosion of sorts. So, are you seeing the pattern here? Chaos, turmoil, an explosion, a shattering. It doesn't really matter if you call the source God, or singularity, or the Ein Sof. All three stories paint a picture of a really violent, chaotic birth that started from one single point. It's like three languages telling one absolutely incredible story. So this brings up a really cool idea. If the whole universe came from one single source, could it also be written in a single fundamental code? I love how the physicist John Wheeler put it. He said, "It's from bit." So simple, but so profound. He was basically proposing that at the deepest, most fundamental level, the universe isn't really made of stuff. It's made of information. Every physical thing we see, actually comes from a bit of information. I mean, just think about it for a second. We see it right in our own bodies, right? Our DNA is literally a complex information code. But you can keep zooming in. Molecules are made of atoms, and atoms are made of even smaller particles. It really makes you wonder, is that information, that code, just woven into the fabric of reality at every single level? Okay, so if the universe is coded with information, the next logical question is, well, how does that information get passed around? For a lot of thinkers, the answer is pretty clear: energy. You know, Nikola Tesla was so far ahead of the curve on this. He famously said that if you want to understand the universe, you've got to stop thinking about it as just solid things. You have to think about it in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. He saw it all as this giant cosmic symphony. Now, a really famous, and I should say pretty controversial illustration of this idea comes from Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiments. He proposed that our thoughts and words, our intentions, could literally change the physical structure of water. He claimed that when he projected thoughts of love and gratitude, the water froze into these gorgeous symmetrical crystals. But when he used negative thoughts like hate, they froze into these ugly, distorted shapes. Now, whether you buy the science or not, it's a powerful metaphor, right? The idea that our inner world can actually affect the outer world. So let's bring all this home. If the universe is really just information and energy, and our thoughts are a form of energy, what does that mean for us, for our own bodies? First, let's just try to wrap our heads around the universe that's happening inside you right now. You're not just one person. You're a bustling community of about 50 trillion cells, and each one is like its own little world, all working together. And think about this. Every single day, you take about 17,000 breaths. And with every breath, you're not just taking in oxygen. You're pulling in molecules from the entire world around you. And each one is carrying its own little pocket of information. And your heart? Wow, that thing is an absolute powerhouse. It pumps 2,000 gallons of blood a day. Plus, it creates the biggest electromagnetic field in your whole body, a field that literally reaches out and communicates with the world around you. And the wildest part of all this? It's all happening automatically, on autopilot. Your DNA is repairing itself, new cells are being born, your heart is beating, you don't even have to think about it. So, if your body can do all of that amazing stuff in the background, just imagine what could happen if you consciously focused your intention, your energy on healing. And that brings us right back to where we started, full circle. We've talked about the cosmos, about codes, about energy, but you know what? It all leads right back to you. There's this super simple metaphor that just nails it. If you've got some dirt on your face, you can't see it, right? Not until you look in a mirror. Once you see it, then you can just wipe it off and start fresh. Well, that mirror, that's self-awareness. It's what lets you see what needs to change. And really, that's the big takeaway here. This isn't about blaming other people or waiting for the world to fix itself. When you boil it all down, science, mysticism, all of it, they all point to the same incredible conclusion. The power is already inside you. The choice to use it is yours. So, if the same energy that kicked off the Big Bang is flowing through you right now, and if the same kind of information that writes the code for stars is also written in your DNA, then the universe isn't just something out there to look at. It's in you. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it?